astronauts, it's me, Brandy, and welcome back to Astro Tarot Research. So I am super excited to be back with another pick a card reading, and this week's pick a card reading is what's the gossip on you? That's right, we're about to find out what everybody's saying out here in these streets about you. We have 5 piles to choose from this time, but before we get started, I do want to remind you that information for private readings can be found in the description box below, or you can just head on over to my website, astrotarotresearch.net. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram, astro_tarot research, where I post a whole bunch of astrological insights. I'm actually probably not a frequent poster. I'm not super into social media, but there is some information studies. If you're like an astrology or tarot nerd, I'm trying to post more with that. Let us get started with these piles, right? So we have pile number 1, we have pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. So let's not waste any more time. Just sit back, relax, and choose. If you've chosen pile number 1, the Black Rock, let's see what the gossip is on you. So we have the King of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, the Devil card, the Star card, the Queen of Cups, and Mars. So let me bring these cards closer. Okay, so right away I know that the gossip is mainly going to pertain to just in general your personality as well as your physical appearance. For the most part, it's actually really good, and I don't know why I said for the most part, it is good. There is not really a bad side to it. With the Ace of Pentacles here, it just lets me know that you may carry yourself for the most part in a non-glamorous fashion, but you do have the ability to switch it up because we have the Star card here and it's following the Devil. So most people will see you sort of like a very approachable person. However, the gossip is on you is when you really dial it up, you really dial it up, okay? And so people see that beauty within you, especially when I get the Mars card. Normally one of the first things I get for people who have this sort of placement astrologically to represent sort of what people are saying or their reputation or things about them, it mainly will pertain to their physical appearance first, and it's generally very positive, especially when we have the Devil card here. It means people are saying that you exude sort of a sexiness or a beauty, or just people just overall will find you very attractive. But that's not the first thing that came up. Let us go back to this King of Cups energy, especially since we also have the Queen of Cups here. Now, whenever I get the King and Queen of Cups, it sort of represents somebody's ability to empathize as well as to communicate and connect with others. And most people will find you very, very pleasing to talk to, be around, or just feel like overall you're a good listener and you have ability to be vulnerable and open when you need to. Don't get me wrong, the King and Queen of Pentacles is not just over here, expressing every feeling and emotion that they possibly have all the time. For them, it's you have a time and place and it just feels right to you. People just see you as very naturally intuitive. Now, when we get the Star card here, it always represents to me somebody who's very unique, who has their own sense of either style or just a very quirky sort of personality, or just maybe not quirky, but for some of you it'll be quirky, some of you it'll just be very atypical, just not the norm. People see you as, they see you as somebody who does their own thing, who's very independent, but also very helpful towards other people, because the Star card is represents by the sign Aquarius, and Aquarius is a sign of the humanitarian. So overall, people will see you as somebody who really cares for other people. So that's really the gossip about you. The gossip is super, super positive. However, there is this thing that people are sort of saying where they kind of feel that maybe you're either secretively rich, or maybe you have some habits that are like, because it's following the Star card, oftentimes when I get like the Ace of Pentacles, the Devil, the Star, it's like saying, oh, they're spending money on things to make themselves look glamorous. So if you're a guy, maybe you just buy expensive clothing, or you can buy hair and makeup. Who am I to judge, right? You could buy whatever it is. So people may see you as buying things to improve your physical beauty. And they may think you spend a lot of money on how you present yourself, what you wear, what you look like. Like they just kind of feel like you put like a lot of time and effort into it, but there's not a feeling of being like self-conscious at all. In fact, most people may even see you as a little bit overly confident sometimes, but that's just your nature, all right? Another thing with this Mars force energy is the gossip on you is you pretty much will tell it how it is. Like you'll try to put a more, with the Queen of Cups next to it, you're definitely going to take action toward being softer with your delivery than if Mars was next to, say, another fiery sign. But it's more like they can expect from you a very direct, I don't know about honesty. I guess it is a sense of honesty, but they just expect for you to be a very like a simplistic sort of person. Like you're not going to overly complicate situations that do not need to be complicated. Another thing, because we have the Devil following this Star card, it's sort of like reading for me, Saturn being in Aquarius, which is what I said before, where you have this sort of humanitarian type feel where you treat everyone equally with respect and you give everybody else the same social, not advantages, but social treatment. Like you'll say hi to, if you're going to say hi to one person, you'll say hi to everyone. If you're going to go, what's something you could do with this placement? I don't, it's like you treat everyone fairly. I don't think I need to expand more than that. You give everyone a chance they deserve. And not only that, but you are going to give people the same energy back that they give you. With this placement though, sometimes it can create a situation where you can really love making money. I have to sort of read this Mars energy as Mars being in Capricorn as well as Mars being in Aquarius. And when I get those energies, it's somebody who has a very strong sense of direction, as well as somebody who puts all of their energy and efforts into earning money or making their wishes and dreams come true. So it has to do with people see you as being a very active person, a very professional person, and a very goal-oriented person. But they definitely will say, hey, I know this person is very headstrong, but there's no but actually. There's no but here. It's just they think you're very headstrong and they think you're very motivated and they think that you're someone who is generally very reliable. If we're looking at things in a not so positive way, like let's say the haters are gossiping about you, then this is mainly to say that maybe they think you dress or look or act in a way that's too provocative. Maybe they see that you are too open. And sometimes when we have this Mars and water energy, it's almost like people will see you as somebody who is too sensitive, may take things a little bit too personal. So that's what the haters are sort of saying. If you're looking for what the haters are saying, but we don't care about them. I mean, they're whatever the hell, you know. No need to care. I mean, they're whatever, you know what I mean? The haters are just not that important. Another thing, because we have the King and Queen of Cups, if we have a relationship here, they see you with a partner who is very similar to you. They share the same qualities of being humble, dependable, as well as hardworking, somebody who they believe is like a professional equal, somebody who's very social. Even if you don't believe you're very social, or if you don't think that you're that ambitious, people were saying this about you, okay? People see you in that light, and they're saying that they think that the first thing I forgot to say this, I don't know, first thing I thought when I saw this card is like, you're glowing up, okay? Especially when we have the Ace of Pentacles, because that gives me somebody who's like taking care of their physical body, or at least making plans to, you know, eat right, making plans to go to the gym, exercise, move, focus on skincare, hair care, whatever it is, some sort of glow up, buy new clothes, get some outfits fitted, whatever it is that involves you taking care of yourself in a physical manner, not mentally. They kind of feel like you just like mentally and emotionally stable and already sound already, but like they see you, like it's like recently they kind of feel like you've been like glowing up. Okay, you're becoming more of this star card energy. And whenever I get the Mars card, when I get people represented by Mars, especially in astrology, like I said, it gives a very attractive appearance. Like people will sort of see these people as just being very sexual or very sexually enticing in that way. And in the emotional way, they can sort of see these people as very, very expressive. So you come off very expressive. And that is the gossip on you. The gossip is on you is they think you look great. They think that you're very expressive. They think that you're very honest. They think you're very open with your emotions. And if you're in a relationship, they think that the person that you have matched with is very well equipped and on equal footing with you, and that you guys have a very, very tight bond. Sometimes people may be like, okay, it might be too tight, like the haters will say that, but it's whatever. And that is what I have for you, pal number 1. Feel free to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell. Feel free to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell so that you can be alerted on my videos, and I'll see you next time. Au revoir. Okay, file number 2, let us get started on your reading on what is the gossip on you. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups. We have the 9 of Wands. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the Death card. We have the 5 of Pentacles. And we have the 4th house, Roots. Okay, pile number 2. This is a little bit different than pile number 1. So the gossip is on you is a little bit more sort of situational. And I like to start with what isn't there sometimes. And what we have is swords. So the gossip on you is nothing to do with the way you may communicate or any sort of personal relationships that you may have, as swords have to do with our ability to be communicative, to get a message across, as well as balancing our beliefs versus other people's beliefs, having to a fair system, like somebody has a thought process and another person has another thought process of how things goes, or just general equality in a sense, which is why we have these Libra signs and the sign of the Aquarius and Gemini. It's all about sort of everyone trying to figure out a way to create a balance and see eye to eye, especially with the Libra air sign energy. So yours has nothing to do with you and maybe trading words with another person. You know how some people, they have gossip on them, and they like, maybe somebody sees them in an argument with someone else and they're like, oh my God, these two people just don't like each other. Or maybe they see somebody like always with somebody else and they're like, oh wow, I wonder if those two are a couple. There's no gossip like that. It's basically what I'm trying to say. So this is solely pertaining to you. So when we have this Ace of Cups energy here, and it's next to fire. Whenever I have a water and a fire card next to each other, it lets me know that I need to read them in a different manner, like if I were to read reversals. So what this is saying to me is that you're the type of person who people can see that you try to hold your emotions in. However, people can sort of see the frustration on your face, especially when it comes to your responsibilities. People feel like that you are in a place in your life where you may give a good amount to other people, but they can kind of see that it may be wearing on you, is what I get here. When I get the Death card, it kind of feels like there's this, how do I explain this? This energy, first of all, let's start with the things. They see you as somebody being very like magnetic, especially when we have this Scorpion energy here. People are just like naturally drawn to that sort of energy because they want to connect in an emotional space and be vulnerable with other people. When we have the 9 of Wands upright, this is somebody who has their defenses up. And especially when we have Scorpio, the card of vulnerability, and the 9 of Wands sort of, in a sense, being like reversed or being read differently than it normally would if it was upright. It's like people will see that you can be a very, very vulnerable person. Now, you may not want to express it because when the Ace of Cups is upright, it wants to express those emotions. It wants to be filled. It wants to put itself out there. It wants to connect. But when it's like reading it like it's reversed, it's like saying you don't want to do that. You don't want to express those vulnerabilities, even though for the people around you, it feels a little bit more obvious. People think overall that you're somebody who has leadership qualities, but you're somebody who doesn't get support back. So the gossip is basically on you maybe not catering to yourself or not having a strong belief within yourself, okay? It feels like to other people that you have a shaky foundation. I just realized what the 4th card was, the 4th house energy was trying to say. It feels like to other people that you have a shaky foundation and that you are just in a place in your life where you're just frustrated with certain circumstances, okay? So that's the gossip on you. They just feel like there's something going on in your private life that you are keeping either to yourself because you don't want to express that. You don't want to be open and vulnerable with people, but they can sort of see it on you anyway, okay? So that's the main message that's coming across first. If that doesn't resonate, then we have some other messages here for you guys. But the main gossip on you when we go to 4th house, 4th house relates to your home, your family, and your environment. Now, I know this doesn't have to do with basically your relation to like other people. It mainly has to do with your emotional state. And people kind of feel that the gossips on you is that people kind of feel like you don't know your own worth, or they feel like you're somebody who is going through an emotional transformation. Because when we have the card, the Death card here, it's symbolic of Scorpio, which is symbolic of the 8th house. And then we have another house here being the 4th house energy. And when we have these two 4th house, 8th house energies, these are houses that have to do with emotional growth. Like whenever you get a transit to your 8th house, 4th house, 12th house, I always know that somebody's going to be looking back. They're going to reflect back on old childhood patterns, on old people, places, things, behaviors, thought patterns that made them the person they are today, that created this that created this pattern that they have, this the emotional reactions that they have, the way of thinking that they have, the belief system that they have, the triggers that they have. And they feel like you're in a place in your life where you're feeling that you need to, it's not like you need to examine those triggers, but you are a little bit more aware of them, and it's leaving you feeling very like raw and very, I guess vulnerable is just the only word for it. It's just leaving you to feel like you come off like you don't have the emotional support that you need. And maybe in some of your cases, like you come off like you don't have the financial support for some people. But as I was saying, for you, people can see that you may have had, people will speculate, okay? People are speculating about you. They're speculating that you didn't have the most emotionally supportive childhood. Like people kind of feel like you may have had it hard growing up. I know this is like crazy, that's like the gossip on you, but people just kind of feel like you just came from a place or a background or a city or just had a home environment that was a little bit more rough, and it has led you to put up your guard, but now you're at a place where you kind of feel like you can't hold up that guard, or they see like the mirror crack, okay? So I hope that makes sense to you. This is like getting like way too deep for reading for like the gossip on you, but that's what it is. It's just like they see that you are in that place in your life, okay? But positive and good things and wonderful things about you. But overall, people see you as somebody who wants to do the right thing, who wants to support other people, who is willing to lend a hand to other people, somebody who their financial situation may be a little bit topsy-turvy, as well as maybe your own sense of security and self-worth may be like a little bit up and down. Like maybe some days you feel good about yourself, and then other days you're like, oh, I don't really look that great today. And then people see that in you, okay? But you know, we all have that, but for you, it feels a little bit more extreme, because when we have this Death card energy, it is extreme. It's the Death card. So for you, people see you as like, we can just look at this Six of Pentacles as somebody being balanced and strengthened and able to feel good about themselves as well as uplift others. Five of Pentacles is that card in between, like that card that's saying, hey, I don't have anyone here except for me and my loneliness, and I can't support the people around me, and I don't feel good about myself, and I don't feel others feel good about me either, and I may not feel like I'm good enough for other people. So they feel like there's this extremeness within you, okay? And they think it has to do with your emotional upbringing or whatever's going around in you, because they don't see, most people don't see you that way. Most people see you as a very like kind and open and very, not philosophical, very self-aware person. Most people will see you as very self-aware, especially emotionally and mentally self-aware, but they don't quite get what's going on, and not sure if you feel the same way about yourself. For even if you are a person, first of all, let me say this before I exit this reading or something. If you're a person who generally feels very, very confident about yourself, and you're looking at this reading and you're just like, I'm sorry sis, I can't relate, like that's not me, then all this is basically saying is your actions and maybe the way that you, just give me 1 second to think of the right way to phrase this, because I'm not trying to like be offensive or anything, you know. Okay. I've thought of the best way to say it. If you're generally a very confident person, then what this is basically saying is that people feel like you don't open up to them about what you think about certain issues or certain events that are going on in your life. You'll tell people the things that are beneficial, or that the things that are good, and when things are steady and when things are fine, but they feel like you keep hidden the problems that you go through, okay? They say you keep your private life private, okay? That is all it's saying if you're just generally a very confident person. So there's an aspect of you that can be very mysterious to people, because people feel like you're somebody who will suffer in silence, and you won't ask for help when you need it, but you're one of the first people who sort of give help when you feel others give it. That is basically what these cards are saying, because when we have the Nine of Wands like reversed in this manner, it's like saying somebody doesn't have strong convictions, have strong communication. They don't have a strong sense of belief system. So it's not saying that you don't have that. It's basically saying that people don't know what exactly it is, like, that you may have an opinion on. Like, you're maybe the type of person, I don't want to talk about politics, I don't want to talk about religion, I don't want to talk about this, not in public. They just kind of feel like you want to keep that more professional image, and you'll share those things with the people you love and if you can feel comfortable with, okay? So that is what I have for you, pile number 2. There's just an air of mystery when it comes to you, all right? So feel free to subscribe and hit the bell. I gotta remember to say that because some people aren't getting notifications on my channel and everything, but I am very appreciative of you taking the time to watch this video. If this pile doesn't resonate, feel free to choose another pile. I am with you on that, all right? I will see you guys next time. Au revoir. Okay, pile number 3, let's see what the gossip is on you. We have the Ace of Swords, the Page of Swords, the 5 of Cups, the 2 of Wands, the 10 of Pentacles, the Magician. God, we have so many cards for this pile. The Empress, and the 5th house. All right, guys, so I don't know what happened here with these cards I was drawing. I must have accidentally pulled this many cards, but maybe there's a lot of gossip on you. I mean, my goodness. I mean, this is just like, let me organize this for a second. Wow. Okay, let's just get started. So wow, pile number 3, aren't you guys the talk of the town? Which is interesting that we got the 5th house, because the 5th house in astrology is the 3rd from the 3rd, so it's the higher form of communication, which means there's a lot of buzz about you, okay? So I don't know if you're somebody who's highly into social media, maybe you have your own following, but usually when we have this amount of communication and this amount of buzz, then it's usually somebody who puts themselves out there in the world. Which, if you put yourself out there in the world, then more people are going to know who you are, and then that's going to create more buzz, and that's going to create, obviously, more conversation and gossip surrounding you, okay? So, when we have this Ace of Swords, Page of Swords energy going on here, first of all, I was just talking about another pile about how sword energy has to do with our communication with other people. And especially when we had the 3rd from the 3rd, the 5th house, there's a lot of talk and communication where people are speaking about just generally the things that you say. This is why I mentioned the social media influence. So, I mean, it's really obvious. I don't know if I need to give an example of this. If you're into social media, if you make a post and you say, I like carrots, and then people are just like, okay, well, I mean, that's a weird example. I don't know why I gave that example. But let's say you create a post and you're just like, oh, pineapples on pizza or pineapples out of pizza. So now people are talking about that post and they're looking at that poll and saying, oh, pineapples on pizza or pineapples off pizza. You know what I mean? So people are talking about the things that you mention and the things that you say. So I don't know if you're just really into social media. Maybe you have your own platform. Maybe you're looking to create your own platform. Or maybe you're just a writer in yourself, or you could be either songwriter, script writer, whatever type of writer, journalist. There's so many examples of fields where writing is important. But people are talking about the things that you are talking about. They're talking about those topics on hand. Whenever I get the Page of Swords, though, it's not usually topics that are super, super deep. It's exactly the example I gave with the pineapples on pizza or pineapples off of pizza. Page of Swords is a very young and sort of silly energy, so it wants to have fun. It's very playful. It's very much that Gemini energy that's very changeable and very much youthful and exciting, which is why we have Gemini. People who have a lot of Gemini in their chart tend to look a little bit younger. So the topics that you are covering aren't usually going to be super, super deep. And not only that, they're just, I don't know, they're just kind of very playful and fun and exciting, okay? I don't know how else to say that, but they are informative, okay? They are social, they are buzzworthy, and they are very enticing, okay, with the Page of Swords energy. They know how to get people's attention. They know how to get those headlines. Another thing with the Ace of Swords, and we have this other Magician card and the Page of Swords, Mercurial energy. What they're saying about you is your nature is very, very changeable, okay? So that's another thing that's very gossipy about. You are like a very easy person to sort of like talk about. They're like, the things you say are very interesting. The things you say can lead to just very like good icebreakers. You come off very, very friendly, as well as you come off somebody who switches it up and doesn't stay stuck on one topic, and you're very creative. There's so many messages going on here. Hold on. I might have to just go through the index of different areas of your life. So everyone wants to know about the love life and the career and what's going on there and what people are saying about you in those areas. I'm assuming, right? So when it comes to your own personal love life, people see you as very, very flirtatious in general. So your energy, it's not necessarily like super, super sexual and like very like va-va-voom, but it's very, very playful and very flirtatious energy. And people kind of don't know exactly who you're into. Oh my gosh, I just thought of the perfect artist. If you guys know Princess Nokia, and she has that song, I Like Him. And I think she's actually a Gemini too. So it's just like, I like him too, and I like him, like that song. So people don't even know who you're interested in, okay? So they just kind of feel like you flirt with a bunch of different people. That's very like air sign energy. Your ability to navigate conversation and to make people laugh and to be very like lighthearted for people comes off as if they just don't know who you're into or who you're dating or who you're interested in next, okay? So, but let's get into this Five of Cups energy, because there's this part, an element of you which is coming off very, very somber and very, very sad, but well, not very, very sad, because it's next to this Two of Wands. So let's read these as if they were reversed. Whenever I get those fire and water coming together, it's like, okay, well, let's read this a different way. Let's put a different perspective on it. Whenever I get this Five of Cups energy a little bit upside down, it's saying that you have been hurt in the past, like we all have, but you're somebody who doesn't really want to cling to that. You want to say, that was the past. It's time to move forward now. It's like, oh, this is disappointing and I didn't want that to happen. But there's a whole future out there, okay? I just have to make sure that I am focused on the right way to do things, okay? How do I explain that? It's like what the things people are saying about you is that you're somebody who doesn't waste time crying over spilt milk. You're always looking towards improving and learning from your mistakes that you made in the past. Like some people, which both things are good actually, or both things are bad, whatever you want to call it. It's just a way of doing things. Some people feel the need to mourn things, to take in their losses, which is, you know, like I said, both things are good. It's just a different way. Everyone has their own way of dealing with serious matters or disappointments. And some people take that time to mourn and reflect on their past and reflect on the things they've lost. But they feel like for you, you don't take that time to do that. They feel like you're just a person who says, okay, that didn't work out, on to the next one. And with the Two of Wands energy being in this sort of like reversed energy, I was just looking up. I'd always do studies on cards and stuff because I love tarot, right? I was just reflecting on the Two of Wands the other day, and in my reflection, I was thinking of all the differences between the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. And the Two of Wands is in a place where they're deciding between two different factors and trying to make decisions on how to engage and how to implement their ideas, versus the Three of Wands, which has already made that decision, who has already put themselves out there and is just waiting for their ships to come in, or waiting for the return on their investments, when the Two of Wands hasn't even made that investment. But in your case, what I'm getting here is that you already know what decisions that you want to make. You already know how you're going to move, the direction you're going to move in, which is towards the future, because both of these cards, when they're upside down, they're ironically looking towards like the future. At least like from my perspective, that's how I read them. They're automatically like sort of looking towards the future, and it's just more so you're working out all the kinks and the moves that you need to make towards it. They kind of feel like you haven't completely launched all your ideas. That's what I'm trying to get, which makes sense because we have this 5th house of creativity and this Empress energy going on here. People think that you know what you want, you know what kind of life you want to live, but you aren't jumping in first, or at least they can't see it. You know what I mean? They don't know what you're doing in the background here. But the interesting thing is, all these cards and all this energy comes off very, very extroverted. So people see you as generally a very, very friendly person. And with the Empress here, I get Empress to mean beauty, but what it means mainly, besides I'm sure you guys all look great and wonderful and beautiful, without a doubt, with this pile. I mean, with all piles. I mean, if you're watching my video, you're beautiful. But with the Empress card here, what I mainly get to represent is happiness. I'm sorry if this reading is super long, but I mean, there's so many cards, a lot to cover when it comes to this. But people see you as somebody who's very creative, somebody who does their own thing, somebody who has their own unique ideas. With the Two of Wands here, I'm not getting that you're not unique, because otherwise we wouldn't have gotten the 5th house energy, but they feel like you're holding back on just how creative you are. Like I said, this is the cards telling me that you haven't completely thrown yourself out there full force. If it was upright, then I would say, oh wow, this person's being a leader, this person's navigating their own way. With this Two of Wands reversed in a way, it's like saying you have a lot more potential that you are not unleashing on the world, and people can see it. They're like, yeah, there's a lot more going on there than we think. We kind of feel like this person is holding back on just how unique and individualistic they can be. And they kind of feel like every time, like I said, with this mercurial energy, this is the reason why they think it, is every time they see you, they're with you, they're talking to you, they visualize you, they're like, this person's just different. You either have a changeable appearance, or you have a changeable way of mood, discussing things, topics, areas of interest, skills. They're like, there's a lot going on here. So it makes them think, okay, I see this person has more than one interest. This person has more than one look. This person has more than one topic that they want to discuss, more than one skill set, more than one book and idea and information and things that they've gathered. There's just a lot more going on. And they feel like you're in a stage in your life where you're setting out a plan and you already know where you're going, but they're just like, all right, well, I'm just so curious what this person's going to do next. There is a little bit of curiosity here because you just have so much changeability, especially with this Page of Swords. Page of Swords is always curious. They're like, what is happening next? I don't know what to expect from this person. You're a little bit of a wild card here, pile number 3. With the Empress energy, like I said, you come off very, I'm not going to say mature, guys, because with the Page of Swords here, you guys can be a little bit immature, especially with the 5th house energy, and 5th house is connected to children. So people see you as a little bit more childish in a way. The gossip about you mainly has to do, for some of you, if you guys have kids, then the gossip will surround your kids and they'll think that you are just a very creative sort of nurturer, or maybe they even feel that your kids are creative or very unique in the way that they learn, communicate, do things. You know, some kids have like this sort of like genius element to them, and you're like, wow, that's interesting. That kid's really, really skillful. I remember I saw a kid one time when I was like, this was really, really long ago, and this kid was like in kindergarten, and they were just like this excellent drawer. Okay, so they just had this amazing skill set where their artistic creativity, I mean, as a kindergarten, was just, I don't even know, out of this world. Like they could do something like the designs on this card and being in kindergarten. So there may be some gossip if you have children about their skill set, and they'd be like, wow, this person just seems a little bit above the skill set that they would normally be for this age. But if you don't have children, then they're talking about your own personal skill set. Like I said, they think that you have so much untapped potential and creativity that you are not showing, or you're going to show at some point, but they're like, whoa, there's a lot out there. There's a lot more to see. And I really got sidetracked because I'm getting all these messages, but from a love perspective, like I said, people don't know. They kind of feel like you have a lot more partners, or you just have more flirtations, or they don't know if you're serious, not serious, or whatever it is. But the love life area for them, you keep them guessing in that area. When it comes to like your career and how you view yourself and how you're putting yourself out there in the world, they see you as somebody very accomplished with the Empress here and the Magician, somebody who takes the world into their own hand and creates their own reality. And they think that you are very, very successful with this Ten of Pentacles here. Somebody who has a lot of wealth, a lot of respect for themselves, okay? Another thing I want to mention, gosh, there's so much. I'm going to have to end this soon, but I'm going to wrap this up. But another thing I want to mention, when I get the Ten of Pentacles, it's somebody who is thinking about legacy and long term. So the gossip on you is that possibly people may think that you come from a rich household or a rich background, and that you guys have a good amount of generational wealth, or you are working towards creating more generational wealth. And that's one of the goals for you, to be financially successful and financially more successful than most. Okay, this is the Ten of Pentacles. Like, you can't get any more than this. So people see you as somebody like, oh, this person's really, really ambitious. This person's got it in the bag. This person is stable about their money. So the gossip is that they think you got money like that. If we're going to talk about the haters real quick, there's not, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, there's not a lot of hate. It's generally more excitement and playfulness, but the haters are going to say that you can come off very harsh or cold, especially with the sword energy here, or just too intellectual sometimes, but the haters are haters, right? And some people are going to see the topics that you cover, or topics you cover, the things that you say, a little bit more superficial, especially with the Page of Swords here. I'm just mentioning the haters just to mention them in case you were ever curious about what the haters were saying. They just kind of feel like that you may not be all that you're cracked up to be, especially with the Magician here. They may feel like, oh, this person is just pretending to be this different. They're not actually this talented, but without a doubt, they still, everybody thinks you got money or something like that. But but they may think like, you know, some people say, oh, they dress that way for attention or something like that. The haters may say something like that. So that might be the gossip on you. But either way, like I've said it before, you guys are very beautiful. They think that you have a very stable household, stable family. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people are saying about you. They think that you're just a flirt, a little bit of a heartbreaker, a little bit of like, we don't know what exactly is going on in your mind. You don't like crying over spilt milk. You prefer to keep things light, be in a happy mood, keep the crowds buzzing, and just put yourself out there. These cards come off, like I said, they come off super extroverted, okay? But yeah, there's really no buts here. Most part, people it's really good gossip, okay? very, very good gossip. They don't see you as like a very secretive person. They just see you as somebody putting yourself out there and open. People don't really see you as mysterious. So I'm sorry if you're going for a mystique, then you're not that mysterious. Pile number 3, they don't see you that way. At least there's just a lot that people don't really they don't really know about you, especially with this Ace and Page of Swords. From a logical perspective, there's just a lack of information because the Ace of Swords is new. They don't have a lot of information, and the Page of Swords is very young. They also don't have a good amount of information. So people just don't know generally much about you. So you keep things very light and fun. People think you're fun. All right, that's what I have for you, pile number 3. So let us move on. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell. And I will see you guys next time. Au revoir. All right, pile number 4, let's get started on your reading. I'm a little bit winded because pile number 3, so much energy, such energizer bunnies. But let's get into this gig. We have the Knight of Cups, we have the Hierophant, we have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the 7 of Cups, we have the 9 of Cups, and we have Uranus. Genius. Okay, pile number 4. So the gossip on you, interesting. I don't know, do you guys like someone or somebody's? Because it looks to me like you may have this very flirtatious energy. Whenever I get the cups here, it does relate to your sense of sensuality and sexuality in a sense. That and wands, but it definitely relates to those pleasurable aspects of human nature, physical pleasure. You know what I'm talking about, guys. But I don't know. There's a lot of gossip when it comes to your, I do know, there's a lot of gossip when it comes to your love life, all right? That's the first thing that pops up with this pile. They kind of feel that your love life can be a little bit unpredictable sometimes, especially with this Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is my ultimate hot and cold energy. I love you. I hate you. I need you. I want you. You know what I mean? It's just like very, very dramatic when it comes to the love life. I'm not saying that your love life is dramatic. I'm just saying that people think it is, okay? That's the gossip when it comes to being you, but they could just be haters. So, I mean, whatever. Who cares about them? So we have the Hierophant here. And that lets me know that they know you're looking for something committed, okay? If we're just going to focus on love life for a second, they know that you are looking for a committed long-term relationship, especially with the Queen of Pentacles here. The Hierophant, to me, I did like this sort of brief study on tarot cards and just mentioned it in one of my Uranus and Taurus videos. But the Hierophant represents like the societal structures and morality and norms of society. So for you, for society in general, one of the main norms is to have a long-term romantic relationship, to get married, to have kids, to have the, you know, the white picket fence, or that's what a lot of people aim for, especially in this lifetime. It was so funny because I was just reading an article a few weeks, like maybe a month back, about the emphasis on romantic culture in today's society. And one of the articles, because I was just curious, I was wondering if there was a study done to show if romantic relationships were more important than friendships or parents relationships, sibling relationships, co-worker relationships. And what I've discovered is that there hasn't even been a study on such a thing, because most people will emphasize and focus so much on romantic relationships that those studies tend to get more funded, but it doesn't necessarily show that those relationships are the most important. If that makes sense. Am I making sense to you guys? There has not been a study to conduct to show that romantic relationships have been the most important in our lives. But the point, so your friendship can be equally as important, if not more important, than a romantic relationship. The relationship you have with your parents can be equally, if not more important, than a romantic relationship. is basically what I'm trying to say. And I bring this up because they don't see you like that. People don't see you as the type of person who will go against what society is thinking and putting out there in the media. People won't see you as somebody who puts friends before lovers or family before lovers. They'll see you as someone who fits into what society, I'm not going to say what they want, but what society has, I guess, put out there. I'll just say society has put out there, which is that you're somebody who puts romantic relationships being the number one, at least in American society. If you're watching this from somewhere else across the globe, then you can interpret whatever relationship. I know in a country like China, family relationships are more important than like spousal relationships. Like the relationship you have with your family, your mom, your dad, you take care of them before your spouse, because their mindset is that you can get another spouse, but you can't get another mom or dad. So it's different versus American culture is you put your spouse becomes your new family, and they have the most important rather than your mom or dad. So people see you as fitting into that societal norm of putting your romantic relationships before friends, family, and etc. in American culture, okay? If you're in a different culture, it's going to be whatever's the standard there. So the gossip is on you is that you are striving towards marriage, family, children, white picket fence, what I said before, okay? That is what people see you as, and that is what people are saying about you. They see you as a modern day normal man or woman. Like you have a good job, you want the house, you want the wife or the husband, you want the nice yard, you want to live in like the suburbs, you want like a nice maybe middle class life. You don't need too much, but you don't want too little. They just kind of see you in that manner, okay? So people see you as relatively normal in that sense. But there is this side of you that is very, very innovative and very unique when it comes to your imagination, or at least your ability to get what you want. And I say that because we have Uranus genius here. So people will see you as wanting sort of like the standard things, but they feel like your emotional state can be very, very surprising. That's the word I'm looking for. Can be very surprising towards other people. And because we have the 7 of Cups and the 9 of Cups, I'm going to choose to read this as very like jovial and very much in a sense similar to like the Fool card, where people will see you as just having a very optimistic outlook. Now this is for some of you. For another of you have a different interpretation. They'll see you as having a very optimistic outlook towards having this dream world and dream life. And for other people, they feel like, I don't even know how they're planning to do this. This seems unrealistic. This seems like a fantasy. The goals that you have, or they feel like maybe it's a timeline that's like you want this done within a year, or something like that. You know, some people have timelines. I want to get pregnant here. I want to get married at this date. I want to But for people around you, they feel like certain things or certain desires that you have are unrealistic, or they feel that it's just unusual about the way that you're going about things, or unusual that the things that you even want, or maybe it just surprises them that you want that, okay? Maybe because they see you as somebody who will put themselves out there in a way that's just like, let me think this through, because I don't want to sound like I'm like insulting people. You know how some people, they go into the dating world and they're very strategic and they're like, I want to meet this type of person, so I'm going to go in this location. I want to meet people through friends because studies show that it's better to meet your spouse through friends, and I want to do this and that way. People don't see you in that rigid manner. They see you as very like fluid. They see you as somebody who follows their heart and their intuition. And for them, it can come off as if you are making decisions, or maybe even ignoring red flags about people, or even just not even seeing the red flags. Because whenever I get the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Cups, it's as if somebody is seeing the world sometimes, not always, sometimes through rose-colored glasses, okay? So this is a gossip on you. This doesn't necessarily mean this is who you are, right? So, I mean, that's how people are seeing it. And so for them, they're like, how are they going to find that one? How are they going to find somebody that they have a spiritual connection with? Like, where are they going to find these sort of people? How are they going to do this if they're just living their life organically? Are they waiting around for someone to just bump into someone? Because what we don't have here is we don't have wands, okay? And when we have wands, wands are about putting effort into something and moving forward and taking action. And so people see you as not taking action towards these things. They kind of feel like you're somebody who is waiting for these things to happen to you organically, or to waiting to meet the one, or just, you know, maybe you go to the grocery store one day and you lock eyes with someone, or you go to a party and you meet someone. They see you as just kind of going through the world and doing that, rather than like, oh, I'm going to join a dating app and then I'm going to put effort into meeting someone, or I'm going to go to this restaurant because this restaurant is known to have, you know, people who are politicians and have good jobs, and that's the type of person I want to meet. People see you as having these high expectations, but going about it in a way that's a little bit more difficult to reach that way, because you're doing things in a manner that's very, you just follow your heart. You just follow things that are just true to you. So they just find that unusual. So they can't see what you see, is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't want you guys thinking I'm like judging you or something like that. Some people like to do that. Some people like to kind of live through life and then see who they meet, and they kind of see you as somebody like that. Versus some people are like, I need to hire a matchmaker, or I need to go to this dating site, or I need to talk to these friends and go through Facebook, whatever, okay? Another thing with Uranus Genius, as people will see you as a person who is very, very silly, very fun, and very much just here for a good time. With this Nine of Cups energy and the Seven of Cups and this Uranus Genius, it's just saying like, oh wow, I'm really here to just like have fun, relax. You don't want to take things too seriously all the time, okay? You're not somebody who can't dial it back, okay? Overall, people see you as very accomplished. Uranus Genius, though, is sometimes somebody who can be a little bit controversial sometimes. The things that you want aren't controversial, just maybe aspects of your personality are controversial. Or maybe they do think the things that you want are controversial. I don't know. It's a split reaction. That's what Uranus does. It creates a split. So it's like people have like split opinions about you. All right. Let me pause for a second, because I kind of feel like my brain's like, like 1 second. So part of the gossip about you is that people see you as someone who will generally stick to a more positive outlook and will let go of emotional burdens. They see you as someone who's not going to allow the negative aspects of life to get to you, and you're going to choose to remain positive. Even if you meet people who aren't the best people, you're going to decide that, hey, I'm not going to let them break my ability to trust. You're going to always keep that Uranus-like nature, which wants to treat things like everything's a new opportunity for innovation, creativity, and to move forward and create a brighter future. It's just like you have this good curiosity thing, this wonderfulness about you that people think that that you're not someone they will ever see stay stagnant. So the buzz about you quite often is that you have some very, very maybe high expectations, or whether that's for yourself or for your partner or for the life that you want. You maybe have high expectations for that, or you have some, because Uranus is very radical and it represents change. You have some desires that are a little bit out of left field. Not all of them. I mean, the standard, this is normal, but you do have some other desires and some other creative ideas that are just, wow, like no one's ever seen before. So you may say things and imagine things and people may be like, wow, that's a really interesting perspective or a really interesting thought. Okay? That's really what they're getting. The gossip on you is that you have a way of viewing things and you have a way of connecting to other people and providing perspectives that generally people haven't seen before. Okay? Or it's rare. But you're not someone who carries around a lot of baggage. People see you as a very jovial person. So the gossip basically is sometimes they think that you're a little bit of a controversial person because they don't know what's going on with your love life. That's the main thing. They just think you're controversial because of your love life. And they're like, wow, there's a lot going on there. And then other times they're less like, some people feel that maybe you're a little bit naive. Maybe the haters are saying that. Other people may feel like you're very sweet. You have this crazy imagination and outlook that just needs to be cherished and protected. And they're like, oh my God, what a sweet, innocent person. Oh my God, I just had deja vu. But they see you in that way. And then the other times is we have somebody who is ready to take a lot of risk and a lot of chances to get what they want. But either way, you do have you have a very large imagination, okay? A very large imagination, which for the haters, they'll be like, oh, that's not that great. They're just making stuff up. For the people who aren't hating, they're just like curious about you. They're just like, wow, that person really gave me a different way of looking at things, or that person really expresses themselves in a lighthearted and beautiful manner, and they find you generally pleasant to be around. Okay? And then obviously with the Queen of Pentacles, they think that you're very refined in the way that you dress and the way that you look. With the Hierophant here, it's not too glamorous. Maybe you may decorate the things around you as being very glamorous. You yourself, not as much. Or at least you're not around to just be like a whole bunch of color. You're not coming looking like how I'm looking right now. Okay? So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. Oh, I forgot to say with the 7 of Cups, people obviously find you just very attractive. Like you have a lot of romantic options, okay? So people see that around you as well. It's just a lot of buzz creating around your love life. People just don't know what to expect. For them, it just seems like maybe you have a different girl every other week, or maybe they just don't know what's going on. Maybe it's some different unusual circumstances surrounding your love life. Maybe you just had some unusual experiences or out-of-box experiences in regards to that. So that's what I have for you, pile number 4. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If it doesn't resonate, feel free to choose another pile. And don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe. Did I say subscribe? Subscribe. Okay. Au revoir. Okay, pile number 5. Last but not least, let's get started on what's the gossip about you. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Wands. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the 2 of Wands. Oh, sorry, the 3 of Wands. We have the King of Cups. And we have the part of Fortune. All right, let me bring these cards to you. Okay, pile number 5. So I have a few interpretations to get through for you. One of the main ones is when we have the Eight of Pentacles coming up first. People will mainly see the gossip around you surrounding your work or projects or some sort of creative field, hobby. It doesn't have to be creative, but some sort of work effort or daily day task or project, anything that could potentially make you money or give you a sense of purpose and fulfillment in life. That's the thing that people are mainly talking about. So, I mean, you could be like me and have a YouTube channel and this would be them talking about your YouTube channel, okay? Or you could have another job and people will be like, okay, I'm talking to them about this job. So, what happens here with the Eight of Pentacles is a very specialized energy. And they're talking about your ability to be refined and detailed within your work, which in turn is causing other people to either step their game up and trying to, or it's like either step their game up and learn from you, or what it's saying is they may even feel that you're a bit competitive, but you're doing things differently, and it's like you all are learning from each other in a work environment. So there's two different scenarios there in that case. Another thing that I got is, if I look at this from a romantic perspective, which the cards aren't super romantic, when we have a lack of air sign, for me it's like saying you personally may not be in a romantic relationship with someone else. Now, if you are, then I'll give a different interpretation in a second. But it's basically saying that you are searching very hard for a connection. And with the Five of Wands here, I always get that to mean somebody who's having either a lot of frustration and looking for people suitable for them in their love life, or what it's saying is you have a lot of options and suitors, but you're very, very, with the Eight of Pentacles, I don't want to say picky, but you know what you want, okay? You know it down to the finest detail of what you are looking for in a partner, and people know that about you, and they feel as though you're looking for someone who physically looks a little bit, either physically looks a little bit different from other people. Like they think that you're focused a little bit more on the physical aspect than the emotional, mental aspect in a partner. And they think that you're looking for someone who stands out in a crowd, but who is also youthful and works hard and has potential to gain their own wealth, okay? They don't think that you're looking for a King of Pentacles, okay? They don't think you're looking for someone super established. They think that you're looking for someone who has potential to grow and gain. And you could be looking for something completely opposite, but this is the gossip on you. Now, normally when I get this, it's usually because people may think that you look young, or you are somebody who just generally invests in potential or something like that. Doesn't necessarily mean that's true, right? This is gossip. So when we have this Three of Wands here, and it's next to this King of Cups, it lets me know I need to sort of read these reversed in a way. And as I was saying before with the love life, it's saying that you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, you may be struggling to find it, you're struggling to find that sort of diamond in the rock, and it's causing you to just feel like you don't have a lot of options, or the efforts that you're putting in aren't adding up. Like it's taking longer for you to find what you want in that area, and it's creating a little bit of frustration within you. And what I've noticed about the part of fortune is not necessarily like, oh, I feel fortunate, I feel great. I was just doing a brief study on what would happen when certain planets transit people's part of fortune. And it wasn't like some crazy life-changing event. It wasn't as if they were suddenly lucky and they had all the money in the world and they felt fortunate. I mean, they might have felt fortunate, but mainly what it had to do was that the decisions that they made, often sometimes people would either criticize them for it harshly. So it's like doing things for your own benefit, doing things that you know resonate with you, that you feel connected with. For example, one chart I was looking at was Robin Williams, and I think it was either Uranus or Jupiter or something like that. When it transited his part of fortune, he got married to his second wife, and a lot of people gave him a lot of criticism for it because they thought that they had started the relationship when he was with his first wife. So they kind of felt like his second wife was a little bit of a homewrecker. But for him personally, the decision he made to marry his, I think, ex-nanny or a nanny or I'm not sure, but the decision he made created a long-term committed relationship, you know, filled with intimacy. And so that was his own personal fortune. Another chart I was looking at was a chart of Justin Bieber, and I think he either had Uranus transit his part of fortune or Jupiter, because I was looking at Uranus and Jupiter in particular. And when this happened for him, he got arrested both times. So for him personally, it wasn't a fortunate place, a fortunate opportunity. And I believe his part of fortune is in his fourth house. So it wasn't like it was this great, wonderful circumstance. It's just saying that the decisions that you make are within your control. Your destiny is within your own strength, like within your own power. I feel like those times when things transit the part of fortune are those times that the universe are saying that, hey, you have, you know, ultimate free reign to do what you want. Like, I have my own personal belief on, you know, life, universe, you know, God, whatever. And one thing I learned about astrology is a lot of things are fated. A lot of things are fated and a lot of things are destiny. And when I see things cross the part of fortune, it lets me know that this is pure you. This is what the control that you have over your life. This is you taking the wheel of destiny within your own hand. So the gossip on you is that you take control of your own life. You make decisions for yourself. You are the one in charge of your own misfortune or good fortune. And that is what people see in you. So when they see that you have a lot of frustration going on when it comes to matters of love, they feel that you're someone who can turn this around and can create a better situation for yourself whenever you feel like it. Because from their perspective, you're somebody who has viable options. Like, you have plenty of options. And it's just a matter of choosing the right one from the outside perspective. Now, this is for single people. Now, for people in a relationship, what it's saying is they feel like that you are somebody who, I'm not gonna lie, they feel like you're somebody who feels a good amount of frustration within your own personal relationship. They don't know anything about you though, so this is gossip, but they kind of feel like you're struggling to communicate properly with your partner, okay? They feel like you're somebody who may even need a new partner. This is the gossip, okay? This is, you know how people are. They gossip and stuff. So for them, they feel like you don't have to stay with the same partner. So I hope that's not a risky decision or risky like thing to say or an uncomfortable thing. It might be an uncomfortable thing to say, but that's just how the people see. That's the gossip on you. They're like, oh, this person can do better or this person can do different. You know what I mean? They don't have to be with this person if they don't want to be with this person. But mainly the gossip has to do with your work and your work ethic, and people see that you are making moves and strategies and moving forward, and that you have this potential to go so far, but maybe you're a little bit impatient right now, or maybe you're just not getting that same energy back that you're putting forth, okay? With the Three of Wands here, I was just talking about this. I was saying how the Three of Wands in comparison to the Two of Wands, because they're both waiting in a way, but the Three of Wands has already put themselves out there, has already cast a decision, and the Two of Wands is still weighing its options, still does. Sorry for that camera cut off. It's probably the universe trying to give me a signal saying that it's like you're running into a lot of bumps in the road into getting what you want, and it's causing you a lot of frustration because you feel like things should be moving faster than they are. And the gossip is they feel like you can take control of that and you can change that destiny and back whenever you want to. They feel like you can increase in success whenever you want to, that you can take the reins, okay? So right now they just feel like you're in a place where you're frustrated and you're in a place in your life where you may not even see how far you've come, because in other people's eyes they see you as somebody very well accomplished, okay? They see you as somebody who you can be there for others if you want to, but sometimes when I get the King of Cups reversed, it's like saying somebody's a little bit more focused on their own inner world, so it's hard for them to connect to other people in their own vulnerabilities in that way, just because they have so much going on in their own personal lives that they can't reach out at the moment. So people may even feel like that you have a lot going on, you know, with your work, businesses, whatever it is, hobbies, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, relationships, that you may neglect to, you know, listen to other people's struggles sometimes, which happens. I think we all go through phases like that, right? Where we could get caught up in our own worlds and we forget that other people have their own issues and things going on. So people kind of feel like that's the case. And another thing is they feel like you're not a person to really open up about your own vulnerabilities or expressions, personal thoughts in that manner, okay? Like you're just not, they don't see you as incredibly communicative. So the gossip on you mainly has to do with just your work, and they feel like you do good work, you do interesting work, you have great ideas, and you're always learning and you're always growing, but you tackle a lot. And when you tackle a lot, there's going to be some delays, and you're going through a phase in your life that you just want to focus on your sense of purpose. That's how people see you. They see you as somebody just focused on your sense of purpose, somebody who's trying to beat the competition, somebody who is, in a sense, very relatable. Like people see you as just a very relatable person. But they can see the frustration on you, okay? They see it without a doubt is what I'm getting from you. In pile number 5, I'm just doing like because I don't want to forget anything. Give me a moment. And I'm just going to analyze this one brief time before I close out because I don't want to miss anything for you guys. For some of you, what this is saying is that a lot of you may have a lot of competitors too in a work environment, but it's like you don't even seem to notice your competition, because you could look at this page of Pentacles just looking off into the distance while these people are fighting, and it's just like la 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 la. Okay, so I'm having tons of interruptions with this reading, which is letting me know as they see you as someone who doesn't, who is doing the most, doing their best, but is constantly sort of like being even maybe knocked down by others, or being treated as like a rival instead of a friend. So a lot of people will just try to compete with you, try to match you, but you're doing your own, you know, unique thing, and you're out there in the world just focused on you. That's the main thing. They just kind of see, oh, I've got to do better than this person. I got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And you're just like, yeah, do what you want. Okay? But you're trying to be successful like everyone else. That's what I was trying to say with saying they see you as the same, in the sense that you're trying to achieve success in a certain field or area in life, but you're doing it in a way where you're ignoring the normal sort of standard way to do things. Okay? That's what's happening. You're like, I'm creating my own destiny. So that is what I have for you, pile number 5. People just see you as such an interesting, serious, very serious individual, I'll say. I think that is all I have for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell so you can get notifications, because people aren't being notified, and I would love for you to be notified. So that is what I have for you. I will see you guys next time. Au revoir.